Dad with 100 Lot Trader. Welcome to the stream. I'm doing my pre-market morning prep for our post-quad witching pre-Santa rally week. As a reminder, my position, long NVIDIA, long QQQ, short Tesla, long VIX calls. Tesla is riding up this morning in the pre-market, which has probably put my puts in net negative territory, but I'm unconcerned by this for a few reasons. One, a morning move upwards in the pre-market is typically, in my experience and according to certain principles that Inner Circle Trader teaches, is probably a bearish signal. The pre-market for stocks and futures in particular is the realm of algorithmic trading. There's certain dynamics that if you're going to go short during the day and you have the ability to manipulate low liquidity periods of time, then you will benefit, you will add favor to your trade by lifting the market to a more favorable level to enter your short position and then moving downwards. Some of you may say, oh, you're just trying to rationalize. Look, your short is going against you. Well, I'll tell you this. I could be wrong. I mean, I've traded long enough to know that there are no certainties here. And I know I said that a number of these events were inevitable in my weekly market prep, but that's simply not the case. The reason I'm unconcerned about this, however, is that this short on Tesla, for me, amounts to a hedge. I'm long QQQ. If Tesla aggressively goes down, this hurts my position. If this rejects and Tesla goes up and I take a small loss on my hedges, it doesn't matter because I'm realizing the upside through my exposure to QQQ. So that's really the only reason I even trade short trades, is to offset potential losses and mitigate potential downside on my core position. Anyway, so Tesla moving up, NVIDIA moving up in the pre-market is actually consistent with what I was looking to see this morning. NVIDIA is up, it's gapped up. Probably, it's interestingly enough, is exactly at the arbitrary line that I drew. I actually suspect with NVIDIA, at least, that we will probably see an impulse up on the open, which then will be rejected. I'll say something else here about NVIDIA. I could be wrong. I'm very well aware of this. My own analysis indicates the potential for potentially significant volatility, and this ascending channel that NVIDIA does honor has been tested a few times. It's not perfect. This was the major carry trade unfolding, which ended up to be probably the best buying opportunity of 2024 for NVIDIA, but this was probably this was the last moment, I believe, where everyone thought the end is nigh and whatnot. So there is a distinct possibility that we see a lot more movement down into this channel than I might want. But I'm not going to give you the details yet. I'll create a whole video on how I plan to run this entry. But I'm planning on trying to perform a gamma scalp, trading against myself into the position that I want to take. I will talk about that more later. It'll be a lot more interesting if it actually works. It's not an easy thing to do. I have done it successfully a few times, but it is tricky. It's a multi-leg trade that you have to be right on all parts of the trade for. Anyway, moving on. I like to do a sanity check by looking at the futures market. The futures market is often much more informative in terms of your the available liquidity and the probable levels. What I see is Inner Circle Trader principles kind of unfolding pretty dogmatically, actually. There's this fair value gap that happened from the volatility expansion last week. you see that we hit the bottom of the range and created these relative equal lows, which is the setup for a sell side liquidity run. The pre-market lift on the cash open will likely see this impulse up into the consequent encroachment 50 percentile range. It could go through here, could bounce around, but this is where I would be looking for the action. This setup right here gives me confidence in my overall assessment of the market right now. These relative equal lows are the tell, basically. And then this is the setup support. So if I'm actually trading futures, which I don't because I'm terrible at it. If you want to see someone who can trade futures well, go check out ICT. He's a boss. Something about short-term intraday trading doesn't sync with my personality. Anyway, if I were to do it, this is a setup that ICT would probably talk about, may even be talking about. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. One other thing. So this is actually Bitcoin futures. So I recently closed my long position on Bitcoin around 106, 107. I had been holding since this first major drop down back in April at around 62, 63,000. I was not holding Bitcoin itself. I was holding Bito. In fact, I bought out of the money calls, and then on this first impulse, I hedged with a short leg up high. These were very long dated contracts because I was prepared for the eventuality of 100,000 Bitcoin, but I didn't know when it would happen. Looking back on it now, with what I know today, I think that I could have done something a lot more favorable with less drawdown, but I won that trade pretty handily, holding options contracts out of the money for over a year. However, I, as you can see, have detected a head and shoulders, and my interest in Bitcoin as a long has faded pretty substantially at this point, as is indicated by the fact that I closed my position actually at the top, which is always nice. What I see is this obvious volume gap. I'm struggling to find my rectangle tool, but it's right here. This is the obvious target. It's Bitcoin's former high. Volume gap. There's an inefficiency here. It's the direct bottom of the channel. I'm interested in Bitcoin at 80,000. I could go short. I generally just don't like going short. I find it's much harder to be profitable on short trades. Also, Bitcoin traders can be tricky. You can't always believe what you see in markets. This could be a fake out, head and shoulders pattern, and they're trying to draw you into the liquidity run, get you to sell, and then they're going to bounce. That could be the case for what's going on with Tesla as well, because Tesla and Bitcoin are correlated. However, if you look at my weekly prep and you look at the options analysis I did of the short 430 January put, I suspect that this is real. In fact, this is healthy. A retracement to 80,000 on Bitcoin is actually quite bullish. This is what you would expect. Top of the channel, profit taking, some retracement, consolidation of gains, re-entry back into the discount zone relative to the long-term ascending channel. So that's my call on Bitcoin. If this happens, I will be looking for entries very likely on IBIT. And I believe that is all for this morning. We'll see how it goes. I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.